When you have no one left, and all that is left is God, have you ever stopped to wonder what He really wants for you? There are moments in life when everything you built falls apart. Plans fail, people disappear, answers stop coming. And in the echo of silence, only one question remains. Now what? You look around and realize nothing feels steady. The ground shakes, the future fades, and your soul screams for a sound that doesn't come. But it's in that emptiness that God starts to whisper, not in shouts, not in thunder, but in a whisper that only a broken heart can hear. Pain isn't the end. It's heaven's language calling for your attention. Sometimes God doesn't take things from you. He just shows you what was never really yours. And when you finally see that, what once looked like loss begins to turn into purpose. What if what's falling apart in your life is exactly what needed to fall so you could get closer to Him? What if what you are calling the end is just the start of a divine conversation? When the noise fades, the soul finally listens. Silence can scare you, but it also heals. Because that's where God speaks the loudest. When you stop chasing every answer, you begin to hear the only voice that really matters. He doesn't speak through panic. He speaks through pauses. Sometimes God isolates you, not to punish you, but to protect you. He takes away the stage to restore your heart. He removes the applause to teach you the beauty of quiet. Because as long as you depend on human voices, you'll keep ignoring the sound of eternity. Heaven is still speaking, but you have to slow down to listen. Faith doesn't grow in the noise. It's born in the soil of stillness. And the silence of God isn't absence. It's an invitation. What looks like punishment is refinement. What feels like delay is training. What feels like emptiness is preparation. God's not taking anything from you. He's teaching you to lean only on Him. Because as long as you have a backup plan, your faith will always be divided by control. But when everything collapses, only the essential remains. Job lost everything. David hid in caves. Moses wandered the desert. Joseph was forgotten in prison. Paul wrote his letters in chains. Every one of them had a moment when all they had was God, and it was there, in that only, that everything began. God doesn't want to break you. He wants to rebuild you. Real faith isn't born in abundance. It blossoms in scarcity. Because when you lose everything, you realize you were never empty, just full of what you didn't need. The fire didn't come to burn you. It came to reveal the gold inside you. The desert didn't come to punish you. It came to show you your source. The night didn't come to hide you. It came to teach you to see in the dark. Loneliness didn't come to wound you. It came to make room for God's presence. He doesn't work in the noise. He works in secret. When no one sees. When no one understands. When even you start to doubt. He's still there. And what He builds in the silence, no noise can destroy. Just like a seed dies before it blooms, you too must go through dark soil before you can rise again. Suffering isn't the end. It's the ground where faith takes root. And the deeper the tears fall, the higher grace lifts you. Stop asking why. Start asking what for. Because everything God allows, He uses to transform you. The prayer born from pain is the one that sounds the most like truth. And sometimes, the miracle isn't God changing your situation. It's Him changing you inside it. If all that's left is God, then you've lost nothing. Surrender is where purpose begins. It's when you let go of control that God starts to lead. When He takes you into the desert, it is not to abandon you. It is to teach you to depend on His presence. Because the manna still falls. The rock still gives water. Provision never comes from effort. It comes from trust. If your faith's been shaken, it's because God is strengthening your foundation. He doesn't destroy, He prepares. He doesn't stay silent, He teaches. He doesn't delay, He matures. Once you understand that, you'll stop fearing the silence. Because silence is where heaven breathes. Isolation isn't punishment, it's intimacy. A pause isn't absence, it's presence. Loss isn't rejection, it's divine replacement. God is still whispering. The question is, are you listening? When He removes your support, it's to show you that you can walk on water. When He allows the fall, it's to teach you how to fly by faith, because no pain is wasted, no silence is empty, no desert lasts forever. God turns ruins into shelter, ashes into altars, tears into seeds, and deserts into roads. Everything He allows is a tool. Nothing is random. Even what breaks your heart becomes a bridge to eternity. So today, take a deep breath. Stop fighting the process. What's falling apart is just being rearranged. The pain you curse today will be the testimony that heals others tomorrow. When all that's left is God, you'll finally see He was always enough. This isn't the end. It's the birth of a new kind of faith. It's not His silence. It's His voice teaching you how to listen. Because when God is all you have, you realize He's all you ever needed. The absence of answers is an invitation to know the author. The lack of direction is the push to trust the unseen. And when you surrender, you discover He never stopped leading you. Every loss was a pull toward His presence. Every emptiness, a space He wanted to fill. Every tear, a seed of faith. Every waiting season, proof of love. God never delays. He only prepares. And when the preparation ends, the promise blooms. That's how He works. In secret, in silence, in perfect time. And when everything around looks like ruins, He's rebuilding what your eyes can't see yet. Heaven was never quiet. You were just tuned to the wrong frequency. But now the noise has stopped. The soul has stilled. And His presence fills the room again. The fire still burns, but now it purifies. The silence still echoes, but now it speaks. The loneliness still exists, but now it's home. Because when the world pulls away, God draws closer. When everything falls, He lifts you up. When no one understands, He smiles and says, "I know." And that's enough. You haven't lost anything. You've just been relocated. What left your life was what kept you from hearing His voice. Now you listen differently. You feel differently. You pray differently. You live differently. Because the desert taught you dependence. The silence taught you discernment. Pain made you lighter. Faith made you whole. And what once hurt you now sends you. Nothing was wasted. Everything was sacred. And if today all you have is God, know this: that's more than enough. Because in His hands, enough always turns into abundance. When He is everything, you are complete. When He's the center, everything else falls into place. When He's the voice, silence becomes worship. When He's the focus, fear loses its grip. And when He's the beginning, there is no end. Faith doesn't remove pain. It turns pain into a bridge. And when you cross that bridge, you realize the other side was always inside you. The answer was never in the world. It was always in God. And when He's all you have, you finally understand. He's all you've ever needed. If this message touched your heart, write in the comments, "Lord, I trust you." Not as a phrase, but as surrender. Because maybe this is the moment He's been waiting for. The moment heaven finds space inside you. The moment the noise stops and your soul finally hears. Nothing you lost was the end. It was God preparing you for a new beginning. He never stopped speaking. You just needed to be still to listen. And now that you hear Him, you'll see. What looked like an ending was God giving you back your beginning. Faith isn't the answer. It's the reunion. It's the moment chaos kneels before trust. It's when your soul comes home. And your heart understands. Nothing was lost. Everything was being aligned. Because the God who took away your ground is the same one who prepared the sky to hold you. He never meant to break you, only to show you where you truly belong. And now that you see it, walk in peace. No rush, no fear, because the love that waited for you in silence now walks beside you. Heaven isn't far away. It's within you. And every breath reminds you of that. When all that's left is God, you realize you were never alone. He's been there all along, waiting for the right moment to help you see. What you lost was only what kept you from hearing love. And now, love speaks again.